These are part of CIA's X-Files. Everybody knows Hannah comes from the family of angels. Why did they get that name? Because when there was a huge exodus of Kurds, they spent a lot of time doing social work. They did social work in Anatolia, they did social work in the Americas. That's why they got the name. It was just a nickname. It started with that. Eventually it boiled down to what Hannah produced as a prophet. That is what her nickname was. She got it because she may have been linked to the noble who had generated Saint Nick out of Anatolia. Now, if this is a messed up story, we don't know what is. There's some theories. Osama bin Laden may not have been Osama bin Laden. It may have been Ali out of India, who got put into Saudi Arabia. That's one theory, that Osama is a completely different story. And because she was working on Iraq, the Americans called her Osama back then in 2003. The second theory is Hannah was the devil's beloved. She was just working on ethics. He may have conjured this whole story for Hannah, his beloved. Why was she his beloved? Because they were playing some type of game and she actually stimulated him by winning. How did she win? It's a big, long 16-year game. So what he did was he kind of balanced it out and left her isolated in Canada, making her intentionally not finish being the devil. And the third theory is, if the noble was gone, it was a form of advancement from China to use Hannah with what the Americans called her. So there's 2 or 3, possibly 4 or 5 theories on the Osama story. All we know is Hannah did a lot of injury to the actual devil. It's a David and Goliath. She's a single woman. Her mandate was just to protect Canada and circle around it. So when the SEALs came to get her, she said, no, protect the area. And they got offended because they're in Canada. They can't protect the area. But they were not thinking of the monster that was happening in Canada and the United States. Because why? The player that was acting as a decoy, which is probably St. Olive's actress or Kim K's double. You remember, she's also involved. Kim K is kind of cool like that, but the double wasn't. Told the SEALs to go into hiding because they were stealing from Canada. It's one of the messiest stories in the history of human. It goes back and forth. So as Afghanistan was attacked and Iraq was attacked and Syria was attacked, they were kind of advancing this way. We don't know which version it is. All we know is the Turks may have done something and ended the planet for the attack on Hannah as a Turkish national, for embarrassing her. They may, because remember, she's not just a Turkish national. She did stuff that was mind-boggling to history. And they kind of wanted their history. The Turks went through the United States and brought it out right away to deflect from Hannah. They figured the noble would give Hannah money and, life would be good. It would go to their Union people. Everything backfired. So you are watching live the ping pong going on. Another entry.